All right, awesome, awesome. Good morning. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm super excited that you're here. Thank you, Chelsea. She said that she can hear me great. Um, I'm super excited that you're here because what we are about to do this morning is really about more than just learning how to pitch a program. This is about really taking your brilliance, your lived experiences, and your God-given gifts and turning it into real income, real impact, and the real influence that you already have. For those who may not have met me before, my name is Dr. Shenelle DuBose, and today I'm pulling back the curtain and I'm showing you what it really takes to get your program into schools, maybe colleges or universities or community-based organizations, and not just how to get them in, but how to get them in fast. Because truth be told, a lot of times we take too long. Like you have this idea, you know it's good, and then it takes you forever to move on it or to get it into schools. And now is a critical time. Because let me tell you this, anybody who's on this call, you're not here by accident. You've already done the work. You're likely in the school system, working for a school system, have services that a school system can buy, or the people who work in school systems or community-based organizations. You already know how to solve the problem. They're trying to figure out how to solve the problem. And half the time, they don't even know what the problem is. They just know what pain they're experiencing. And you've already been there, done that. And so you can sell that to other schools. So it's time for you to get paid for your brilliance. So I'm going to go ahead and break down the strategy for you. I hope to shift your mindset and to really get you to thinking and moving like a CEO and not like a teacher, not like an educator, not like an administrator, not like a therapist, not like an art educator. I want you to shift over and begin to think like a CEO, a business owner, and more importantly, an education company owner. So I want you to grab your notebooks and I want you to turn your distractions off. I promise you this is going to be worth your time. And if you are ready, let's get some movement in the chat. Let's get some I'm ready. If you're ready, tell me you're ready in the chat. Y'all got to get me excited. You know, when I get excited, I get to giving you all of the gems and all of the keys. And because I want you to win, because I know that there is enough out here for all of us. See, I'm not in confusion about this. I know the truth. All right, I see some I'm ready's in the chat. Ready, 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 ready. All right, so let's get started. We're going to work through this thing, and I'm hoping to get you some really good clarity and understanding. So the reason you're not in schools yet, notice I said yet, because let's be honest for a moment. You're absolutely brilliant. When I say I have women in my mastermind, when I say they are brilliant, when I say they are amazing, when I say that these folks show out, even when they don't even think they're showing out, they're showing out. And all I think to myself is, oh my goodness, you have the expertise. You have a program that can help teachers, that can help students, that can help families, but you're still not in schools. Why? Because here's the truth, having the talent isn't enough. And I really wish somebody had told me this years ago, because all of you all have the talent. See, these are the things that nobody tells us. You need a strategy to get decision makers to say yes. You need a message that lands contracts. The message has to land in the seat of the vendors. You got these folks who need your services, but your message has to be on point. And here's the big one, folks. You need the confidence to pitch without hesitation. That last one is killing us, y'all. You got to have the confidence to pitch without hesitation. And you know what? In this masterclass, I'm going to show you how, okay? I'm going to show you how. So school budgets are being spent with or without you. Right now, all across this country. Summer programs are being approved. Just got an email yesterday that one of my clients' summer program was approved. She wasn't even going to pitch, and I was like, are you crazy? She pitched, it was approved yesterday. It took about 2 weeks to get that approval. Decisions for the 2025-2026 school year are already in motion, guys. And then the remaining 2024-2025 funds must be spent before June 30th. And let me just give y'all a little background on this 2024-2025 money. So for those people who have those family engagement workshops, you know, something for the family, or some type of a little program that's going to run like $1,800, $2,800, you know, those are the things that they're buying right now and that they'll be buying next month, because this is what happens. There will be principals all over the nation. They have this budget, and they may have started out with a $350,000 budget, and then they spent, you know, you spend throughout the year. You pay for, you know, counselor week, you pay for the field trips, you pay for all these things that the school that you are managing needs. And then when April, May comes, guess what? It's testing time. Nobody's really going on field trips. The money isn't being spent as much because we're busy preparing the kids for the test. And then it's time to close out the school year. So we'll order a few things, maybe boxes for teachers who are leaving. A lot of times we can get those things from central office. But guess what? In May, that principal who's been busy all the month because it's testing, then goes to that budget and sees that they still have $3,700 left in this one budget. In the Title IX portion of the budget, they still have $2,200. In this other budget, they still have $1,137. Guess who can come in and sweep that money up for them? You can come in and get that money. I love this time of the year. That's right, Chelsea. Chelsea said me. I'm telling you, I love this time of the year, because where do you go to make $1,800, $2,200 for 3 hours of work, for one day of work? And it's the work that you're already doing. It's not laborious. It is the work that you're already doing. The principals don't know where to spend this money at. The principals are people just like you. It's not like they have in their back pocket different vendors that they can spend that money with. And so that's when that frivolous spending starts, and we buy, you know, I remember I bought new clickers for everybody because I didn't have anything to spend the money on. So I was like, y'all want new clickers? I remember we bought t-shirts for all of the kids in the building because I had like $3,800 left, and I wasn't giving the money back to the school system. Most principals do not give money back. We're not trying to give money back. Yes, I am a former principal building leader. Absolutely. And so I'm speaking to you from several points of view, as a former board member, as a former principal, as a former person who reviewed all of the proposals that came through the district and through the board of my organization that I was the board on, as a board trainer. So I trained the people how to look for good vendors. I'm telling you, it is working. Okay. Oh, she said the sound is glitching. Okay. Hopefully it'll straighten out. So, and see, so we got a few principals here in the chat. So they probably can attest to you. When we are at the end of our budget, at the end of the year, we have to spend that money. You don't want to give the money back. When you give the money back to the district, that means that you don't need as much money for the next school year. So they're going to cut your budget. So I want you, if you wait, I want you to remember that you're going to miss the funding window. You're going to watch others get contracts that you are totally qualified for, and you're going to stay stuck on the sidelines wondering why it's not happening for you. Because the question isn't really if schools are buying, it's who they're buying from. And our goal is to make sure that it's you. So our goal is to make sure that it's you. So let me go ahead and dispel this myth that may be circulating around, that some of us are a bit concerned about the Department of Education closing. Some of us have some feelings. Anybody have some feelings that's happening? You don't know what's really going on and it's making you a little nervous. Anybody experiencing that? Anybody wondering how this impacts us? Okay, Deanna says yes, yes, yes. They said, Elizabeth said, yes, I'm trying to figure it out. Chandra says, yes, she's trying to figure it out. Well, here's what you need to know, because I know that this can be wearisome, but I'm sure that the people in here who are at central office level and those who are at building level, these are things that are common knowledge for us. So federal funding, it only constitutes a small portion of the school budget, guys. Only a small portion. On average, about 11% of the public school funding comes from federal sources. And then the remaining 89% is sourced from state and local governments, which means that the majority of the funding remains unaffected by federal changes. So they can do what they're going to do there. What you're going to experience in the school system and in the classroom is not going to change, okay? So state and local control remains paramount. Education has always historically been under state and local jurisdiction, and the state and local is who determines the curriculum, the standards, as well as the funding allocations, guys. And so the closure of the federal department does not alter this structure, but instead it reinforces the autonomy of the states and the local communities in educational matters. I don't know if y'all understand what this means. See, some of y'all was getting a little nervous about this, and then there's others of us who was getting excited about it, not excited that the Department of Education is closing, because guess what? We really can't do anything about that now, can we? As regular folks and as a regular education company owner, there's nothing personally that I can do about that. But what I can do is seize the opportunity that is available. And that means that now state and local has more autonomy. Those local school systems can now get the programs in that they want, and they don't have to go through the red tape. So you might have noticed that a lot of the guidelines was taken off of career tech ed. That means that now those school systems don't have to meet certain guidelines in order to bring career tech ed programs into their schools. So what does this mean for you? Let's talk about it. With the shift in the government, with what's happening, state and local districts now have greater discretion over their funding priorities, as well as the initiatives that they take on. It's going to allow them to have a more tailored approach. And this means immediate opportunities for consultants who understand, and those who are able to align their services with local needs. Local meaning wherever it is you're looking to work. And I'm going to show you some live examples today, okay? So this is not just me going to be talking to you about theory. I'm going to show you some live examples in just a few minutes. You're welcome, Chandra. So schools are seeking these specialized programs to address diverse student needs, especially in areas like special education, STEM. Bilingual education is bursting at the seams, people. Special education bursting at the seams, people. Y'all, I don't know if you can imagine, but hot areas, special education, STEM, bilingual education, reading and math, they can't find enough people for those particular areas. But then though there are also specialized areas that have lots of opportunity, and I'll share that with you in a few minutes. So the goal is you have to have the ability to provide targeted solutions so that you are valuable in this evolving landscape. So why am I spending this time on this? Because I want you to understand that the closure of the Department of Education, while it is a significant change, it does not diminish the demand for the educational programs and services. The truth is, it will increase the need for innovative solutions. at the state and local levels. So you got to position yourself strategically so that you can capitalize on these emerging opportunities and your ability to make meaningful impact in communities that you serve. So I want you to keep that in your mind and always remember that whenever there is a challenge or something big happening, there is always opportunity that's wrapped in that, okay? So we're not looking at the challenges, we're looking at the opportunities. All right now, Kendra Wilkins, I'm in St. Louis too, all right now. So let's get to know who's in the room. Tell me who you are. Put in the chat. First of all, I need to know who's in the room because I want to be able to tailor part of what I'm going to share with you. So if you already have a consulting business, put a 1 in the chat. If you already have a consulting business, drop a 1 in the chat for me. If you are just getting started or trying to figure out how to sell your services and you haven't sold to a school before, put a 2 in the chat. So 1, if you already have a business and you've sold before. 2, if you are just getting started, or maybe you don't have your business set up and you're trying to figure out how to sell. So I'm trying to get an idea of, if this is a 50-50 room, a 70-30 room. Okay, I see a lot of 1s. Okay, so we have a lot of people who already have consulting businesses. That's amazing. Okay. So we have people who have consulting businesses. We have some folks who are just getting started. Hey there, Dr. Mel. Hey, Dr. Mel. All right. So, okay. We got some tools. Okay, just getting started. So my goal is to try to tailor for the people. Oh, let me go back because I want to ask another question. So now in the chat, also tell us, what is your area of expertise? What is your area of expertise? And also share your state so you can see who in the room might be near you, so that you can get an idea of who in the room might be near you. So give us your area of expertise as well as what state you are currently in. All right, we got Kansas City in the house. Come on, Dallas, Texas. All my Texas people, y'all know I love my Texas people because I plan to move to Texas. And so I made it a point to really focus a lot of my work in Texas because I need to be able to work while I'm in Texas, okay? So, all right, Georgia, you know we love you, Georgia. We do a lot of work in Georgia. All right, look at there. Okay, New Jersey. All right, we got New York in the house. We got DMV. Oh, DMV got some stuff going on. DMV, I got something for you today. All right, New Jersey, Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay. All right. So we got some great folks. Ohio. All right, Ohio. Let's see, Florida. Yes, we're very familiar with Florida. All right, done some work in Florida before. Dr. Mel is from the good old state of Arkansas. Love it, love it, love it. We got Shreveport, Louisiana, who has all of the charter schools. We know how to get into those charter schools. Just close. We had someone close a $58,000 contract there. All right, this is awesome. Okay, so we got that. So now this is what I want you to ask yourself. So we got an idea of who's in the room. We have an idea of what your area of expertise is. And you can begin to look through the chat. Part of the goal of this is to help you to see what other people do. And it's not about stealing ideas. It's about seeing what other high achievers are doing and realizing how you can do what you do better, okay? Because competition is non-existent. We do collaboration. So we're not worrying about competition. We are collaborating. Okay. So let's I want you to think about this. I want you to think about this. If you know you're talented, why aren't you pitching? Why aren't you pitching? You know that you do this work in the school system. You know that you've gotten results. You know that you are good at what you do. I need you to tell me in the chat, why are you not pitching your services? And I realize that you're here now because you want to learn, but I want to know what has stopped you thus far. And this is about being honest. I love it, Chandra. She said, let me just tell the truth. Fear and lack of confidence. See, we can't get to where we need to be if we're so worried about what people are going to think, and we can't get to the transparency of what we need to say in order to get what it is we need. Okay, so there we go. She said fear, getting in front of the right people, not sure how to pitch and to who. Great point. Overthinking. Come on, Tamia. Overthinking. I think a lot of us overthinking gets us. Um, Kimberly said, I got some no's and it shook me. I need a reliable strategy. I love it, Kimberly. I love the honesty, because when we're honest, we can unwrap what's really happening and we can get to the root cause, and that will allow us to have a mindset shift. But if we are so stuffed up and so, I got all of the answers, because we're talented, educated people. Do you see how many doctors are in this group? We done went to the highest level of terminal degrees. We've done years and years in the school system. And to be quite honest, we've been right about a lot of things. But this is the time where you have to say to yourself, if I knew how to get myself out of this hole, I wouldn't be in the hole. And so this is the time to take the mask off. And if it's any consolation, these people in this room don't know you. Okay. They don't know you. Girl, come here and get what you need and be able to do what you need to do. Don't worry about what people are saying and thinking about you. These people do not know you. Okay. So I love that. Kimberly said she got some no's and it shook her. All right, Kimberly. She says she stopped by packaging. Okay, got to work on the packaging, finding my audience in a closed environment. Okay, didn't have a plan. Honesty, I love it. Time, and I got some no's, and it's annoying. I love it. Okay, okay. Felicia says, I am talented. It's the what, if, and how. Okay. Kendra says she did. The principal was interested and loved what I was doing, but the board didn't approve, so I must have pitched wrong. Kendra, I love the reflection. And it's not necessarily that you pitched wrong. We're not going to use that terminology. Every no is an opportunity for us to reflect and to make tweaks to get closer to the yes, because the truth of the matter is you got to get through the no's to get to the yes. But what you're going to do is congratulate yourself on the fact that you pitched and the interest was there and it made it all the way to the board. What was probably not right was the pricing or the packaging, because when it gets to the board, they have more time to think through it, and it's 5 or 6 people who are looking at it. So it's probably pricing or packaging. So the reality is, if you fix that, then that would have been a yes. So I just had to stop and say that. Lack of strategic processes, knowledge, time, networking. Okay, these are excellent. I'm going to help y'all with all of this today. Procrastination. Come on now, Michelle. Come on, Michelle. All right. A lot of us struggle with it, but Michelle was the one brave enough to put it. Procrastination. Not sure of how to pitch, and previous lack of confidence. Overthinking. Yes. Not having the business set up, thinking that it's needed first to pitch. Okay. Not knowing how to pitch my services in the right target audience. Okay. And Tanya says, I'm in the process of building it now. Yeah, we take too long you don't have to build it. We're going to talk about this. She say, I'm ready now though. Not knowing what to say. So I think we're good. I think I got the answers for y'all. I'm starting just determine my offer and pricing and need to get on more vendor lists. Oh, I wish I could respond to each one of these individually. I really wish I could respond to each one of these individually, because some of these are misconceptions and myths. And then some of them are just, you haven't been in the field to know that it's just not true. I love the imposter syndrome and analysis paralysis, dealing with perfectionism and just knowing how. Absolutely. Trying to figure out how to do this while already having a full-time job in parenting. Chelsea, I love it, because the truth of the matter is you got to prioritize. And I know that it's almost like that's not, I don't have any time. But I got to tell you, we all do it working a full-time job. I was a full-time principal, and I'm not saying that your situation is like mine, but I'm just saying that most of us, we work a full-time job, we have children, we have family members, we have church services, we have volunteer. But the truth of the matter is, you're gonna have to take some things off your plate. And what are the things that we're gonna take off of our plate? We don't want to do it because it's going to disappoint some people. But we can talk about it though. Hey, Melissa. Hey, hey. All right, we got New York in the building. Okay. Crystal says, I just submitted my resignation from my professor position to go full time. Crystal, I got some stuff for you. All right now, because you got to step out on faith. See, a lot of people say that they're faithful, but they don't really know what faith is. Okay. They want every step set up before they take the leap. And the thing about faith is you have to take the leap knowing that the mattress is going to catch you, that the net is going to catch you. And so we want for sure it's going to happen on this day. It's going to happen, but you got to step out on faith. So she said, would you reflect after a no and pitch to that no again? Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to talk about that too. See, she said she called her state's special education director and received 2 interested, but lost them in tailoring services and proposals. That's a big issue. And I think that it's because many of us who've been in the school system, I have been in the school system for 17 years as a professional. And I only saw things from the school side of things. And it really clouds your vision because you think that the thing that you did in the school is exactly the thing that you're going to do as a consultant, and it's not. And that's a lot of the work that I do on my mastermind with my ladies, because they want to do like if you're an instructional coach, that's not the same way that you coach when you go in as a consultant. She said, yes, the vendor list. There's a trick to the vendor list. Chandra said, perfectionism is something Dr. D will snap you out of real quick. That's right. Done is better than perfect because perfect never gets done. Okay. So she says she's working as a sub and driving Lyft to make ends meet. You can do that if you want to, but I want you to know that you don't have to do that. And I'm going to show you why I can't. Okay. So let me keep going. So let me make sure that you understand that it's not because of a lack of talent. It's not talent, people. You all have the talent. You did the thing. You went to school. You got the job. And they told you to stay there 30 years. Then you can retire. You can live a good life. Y'all, that's a lie. When you retire, you're going to be older. Your bones are not going to be as strong. If you couldn't live off the full paycheck, what makes you think you're going to live off 60% of the check? That doesn't make sense. So we have to begin to realize that the dream that some people are talking about may not be the dream that you wanted. Because for me, I wanted to travel now. I wanted to spend time with my kids. I wanted to be able to buy my son a pair of shoes without having to budget it in on the next paycheck. I wanted to be able to sleep past 5 a.m. It was a lot of things that I wanted. And honey, I didn't want to wait until I was 65 to get it. And so I had to figure out a different way to do it, but it required me to let go of a lot of the things that my family taught me. My mama loved me to death. Y'all don't know love until you saw the love my mama had for me. Bless and rest her soul, okay? But she grew up in a different time. My mom passed when she was 75. And so she was born in 42. She grew up in the 50s and 60s. That was during a particular time. And so they shielded us. Look at Quilina. She said, don't wait until 60. They shielded us. They had different things and different obstacles, but they had to instill those things in us in order for us to survive. They were focused on surviving. We had to focus on survival. But now you need to be focusing on thriving. We don't have to struggle like this anymore, but we're choosing to, which takes me to my next question. I want you to ask yourself, if your child asked you, did you even try to get rich? Did you even try to get rich? I want you to stop. I want everybody to stop and just let this sink in for a moment. I watched a video the other day and the kid looked at his parent and asked, "Did you even try to get rich?" And woo, that hit me. That hit me. So I'm asking you, have you really tried or have you settled because you stopped dreaming bigger? I want y'all to stop right now and ask yourself, did my parents even try to get rich? Yes, Kendra says she watched that same video. Ask yourself. Be honest, y'all. Be honest. Be honest. And this is no shade. This is no shame because they did what they knew to do. But ask yourself, did your parents even try to get rich? Did they even try? Most of us, our parents were happy to get a job, to stay there for 30 years, to put a roof over our heads, and they were comfortable. Their goal was to be comfortable. Their goal was to have comfort. Many of us relied on that pension. And now I want you to ask yourself and be honest with yourself. Like, let's stop sugarcoating it. Do you even try to get rich? Have you even tried? Do you even believe that you can be rich? Whatever rich means to you. And let's be honest. If you've already figured out how to solve problems in schools, then you already have what it takes to turn your expertise into income. We're not chasing dreams. We need to build businesses. We got to build businesses, people. Because think about the people who are doing more than just surviving, who are doing more than just robbing Peter to pay Paul, who are doing more. I'm not talking about the fake people who flossing. They got the big pretty house, they got the big pretty car, but they can't take a day off work because if they do, all their cards are going to crumble. I'm not talking about those people. That's not what I'm talking about. And if we can be honest, did you even try to get rich? Do you even believe you can get rich? What have you really done? And then we have people who will say, yeah, I tried. What did you do? How long did you work at it? Because it's not something that you stop. Even the rich continue to get richer because they continue to do the work and to do the things. And a lot of us, Chandra said the truth. She said, when it got hard, I stopped. Because most of us, we don't fail, we quit. That's the problem. We're not failures. We're quitters. Soon as it gets hard, we quit. And so we got to really think about that. And I want this question to linger in your head. When he says, I feel attacked. I want this to linger in your head. Did you even try to get rich? We have these people who walk around and say, all of the rich people going to hell. You're not good. The camel and the needle and the haystack and all of this stuff. These are things that we grew up hearing. Money is the root to all evil. All of these things. You need resources. But I want you to ask yourself, did you even try to get rich? I want you to ask yourself. And I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. I'm going to stop this share. Okay. I'm going to stop this share for a minute because I want to show you. What's available to you. And I'm talking about in real life. I'm not talking about this, this social media stuff that's not real. So I want to show you exactly what's available to you. I'm going to reshare. And work with me, people. Let me straighten my screen out first. Work with me. I want to make sure you can see it. and I'm working on a double screen, so I'm pulling the screen down so that you all can see. I want to show you some opportunities that are available to you. And when I say you need to dream a bigger dream, and these are just examples. So I want you to see, this is Harford County Schools in Maryland. Where are my Maryland people at? Where are my Maryland people? Do I have any Maryland people in the house? Because they are looking for Title I educational services for eligible non-public schools, okay? They are looking for proposals. Notice that the due date is April 16th, 2:30 p.m. local time, okay? This is a real request. They are looking for Title I educational services for eligible non-public schools. This means for private schools, for charter schools, and they already have a list. They have a list of schools that need services, and they are coming to that organization in order to get the services. So they will buy the services from you. Where are my leadership people at? Where are my people in leadership? My leadership people, where you at, where you at, where you at? So let me show you this example. Listen, look here. See, a lot of y'all overthink this, and I want to make sure that you don't leave here overthinking this. This RFP, I'm gonna show you the top of it in a minute, but they need somebody to establish a comprehensive leadership training program for aspiring and current supervisors. Guess what? You're a leader. You've been leading. They need you to provide structured training through blended learning methods, including in-person sessions, online training, independent study, discussion boards, and virtual reality sessions, exercises. Where are my college professors? Where are my curriculum creators? Where are my administrators? Where are these people at? You're going to make sure that the curriculum aligns with TDM's leadership development goals and best practices. They're going to give you much of the material. Look there, Sarah says she's a curriculum designer. You see this? They're going to give you the material, and then they tell you it's two primary phases: Basic Leadership Academy, which focuses on leadership fundamentals and team dynamics, and then Advanced Leadership Academy, which is conflict resolution, decision-making, strategic thinking, and succession planning. Folks, they're telling you what it is they need. Look here. This is in Texas. Where are my Texas people at? You do not have to live in the state. You can travel there. Think about what they asked for. I am in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm going to do the blended learning. When I need to go to the in-person sessions, guess what? I'm taking Southwest Airlines. I'm going to hop on Southwest. That's our primary hub here. I'm going to take a direct flight to Texas. I'm going to get off that plane. I'm going to rent a car or take an Uber to my location, do my 3-hour service, get back in my Uber, head back to the airport. Online, I'm gonna sit right here in this chair that I'm sitting in right now. Y'all overthink this. Independent study, you've been in independent study before. They get a syllabus, they get their work, and they submit it, and you give them feedback. Discussion board, you don't have to go anywhere to do that, and you create virtual reality exercises. I'm just telling y'all, this is where it is. Okay, and let me go back here to let y'all see. This is the Texas Division of Emergency Management. When I say community organizations, government and state level contracts. Next one, look here. This is a request for what? Special education professional services. What? Where is this at? In the state of New York. I saw some people in here who are in the state of New York. Here it is right here. When is it due? 3 p.m. Thursday, April 17th, 2025. Okay, let's go to the next one. Where are my people at? Look, these are all of the things that they need. They need content expertise in ELA and mathematics. You see it's at the top of the list. Didn't I tell y'all that? Data-informed decision-making. Where are my data people who love data? Here you go. People are looking for you. They need somebody to help with standards alignment, You are really good. You're on that team. You are the one who always says, no, this standard goes here. We're going to cross map here. This is the horizontal. This is the vertical. Honey, you can be making money with that. Here is instructional data utilization. Come on now. Customized teaching. That just means coaching, job embedded coaching, curriculum enhancement. That means that they already have the curriculum. They need you to take the curriculum and enhance it, include different tech, different exciting activities. Where are my instruction and engagement specialists? These are those. So a lot of times we get confused because it doesn't say the name that you're accustomed to it saying, because you're in your state. Different states use different terminology. Look at there, student engagement strategies, cultural integration, instructional delivery and lesson design, parental engagement strategies, leveled and guided reading. Where are my elementary teachers at? Y'all do this all day, every day. All day, every day. That's what you do. You know how to do it. You know how to make it happen. Where are my people who love writing? Writing across the curriculum. What you thought it was dead? No, it's not. They just don't know where you're at. Look here, I've made so much money facilitation of mathematical discussions. This is a gold mine. I am not a math teacher. I do math discussions because I'm an English teacher by trade, which makes it really easy for me to be able to help the math teachers to open up to be able to do math discussions. Look, I'm just saying, designing engaging virtual learning environments, trauma-informed instructional practices. Where are my counselors and my therapists and all of my people who work on the SEL? That's what they're looking for. They need you to help not only do they need it for the students, but the teachers who are teaching students who have been in trauma, those teachers need support too. Addressing educational needs with consideration of poverty. Come on now. And then administrative technical assistance. That means school support, compliance. Look here, compliance, data analysis, strategic planning, implementation of state and federal guidelines. But you may not have thought of it as administrative technical assistance, okay? So I want us to understand these people are looking for you. Look at here. This is in Laurel School District. They're looking for all of these people. And look at here. Let me go up. Look at here. Where is it due? Let me see. I'm gonna show you where it's due at. Wait a minute. It's somewhere. Oh, here we go. March 31st. March 31st, 2025. This is in Mississippi. Again, you can fly there. And then this one I'm going to show you right here. Oh, I wanted to show, I had it on the spot that I wanted to show you from. Okay, this is, again, where are my Maryland people at? My DMV people. DMV, this is you. DMV, this is you. Baltimore County Public Schools. They're looking for research-based instructional practices to support decisions regarding evidence-based professional development services. We're seeking a professional development partner to support related work. They're proposing a multi-year engagement. Multi-year, that means more than 1 year, to support the best support the professional development needs of English language development teachers, content teachers, and leaders to effectively address the learning and achievement of multilingual learners based on their annual professional learning plans at the school level and across multiple schools based on their funding. Y'all, stop playing with me. Let me tell you what the problem is. So this is due on March 28th. These are real proposals. These are real submissions. This is real. Here is the problem. When I ask you, did you even try to get rich? I'm not talking about one PD. We got to stop thinking one PD, and we got to stop thinking $20,000. Baby, this $500,000. This $500,000. some of these are 250,000. Some of these are 400,000. Some of these are 128,000. Some maybe 54,000. It all depends. But here's the beautiful thing. Like one like this, you will propose your services and they want to work with you not for 1 year, but for 4 years. So you have 4 terms of renewal, which actually is a 5-year contract. So once you win, you not only win one time, you can count that money for the next 4 years as long as you show up, do what you said you're going to do, and do a good job. This is all I'm saying. I need us to think bigger. Sometimes we think too small. Sometimes we get stuck in our heads. I don't know. Okay, so let me go ahead and help you to answer this next question. I know I got to get moving, y'all. It's 9:46. I got to get moving. Okay, so let me answer y'all this next question because I'm going to answer questions you don't even know you needed to have. Some of y'all are going to overthink and you're going to talk yourself out of it. You ready? Are you ready? So in this one of the things that you can do, and I'm trying to look in the chat, but I got to stay focused. So give me a minute. I'll go back in the chat in a minute. One of the things that we do as educators, as people who have been in the school system our entire life, from kindergarten to high school to college, and then left college and began teaching in the school system, I know that y'all been indoctrinated. I didn't know at first, but then after I learned, I fought it all the way, okay? But here's the thing. You have probably said to yourself, well, I don't qualify. My services are not good enough. It's probably 1,000 people applying for that. I don't know if they will pick me and all of these things. First of all, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. But second of all, this is what I want you to see. You see this? These are the 14 companies. You got 14 people who are competing against you. You got 14 companies. 14, that's it. 14. Guess what? Half of them not going to even submit because they're going to do like you. They're going to look at it. They're going to see that this is a lot and I'm not going to do it. So half of them are not even going to submit. So I want us to understand that you do not do it because of what you think is going to happen. And I'm pulling my PowerPoint back up, or at least I hope I am. Nope, it didn't. Okay, let me stop share for a minute. So don't not do it because you think that you're thinking to yourself, oh, they're not going to select me. All you need to do is to present your work, what it is you do as an education company and not as a person. And when you do that, you will find that you open up your opportunities. Give me 1 second. Y'all know I can't talk and work at the same time, so work with me. I'm trying. And so for all those people who thought that you needed to be a perfectionist, you don't. When something is going wrong, just say it. This is even true in PD. When I'm doing PD and something happens, I just stop and talk my way through it. And I tell the folks, hey, I'm not 25. I can work technology, but I have to stop and think about this stuff. So give me a second. Let me get my slides back up. At some point, I'm going to get the slides back up. Give me a second. Okay. Oh, let me see. Okay, so we want this. Okay. All right, so this should do it, I think. Okay. All right, there we go. Woo, woo. That took a minute there. All right. So these contracts, most of them are due by the 31st. You might be wondering, oh, somebody put something in the chat. Let me, oh, I want to respond to some of this stuff so badly. It's gonna make my thing go too long. And I told y'all I'm gonna get y'all off here within 2 hours. I'm gonna make this comment because I want us to know. And it's a hard one for some people to swallow. I am going to remind everybody that ChatGPT does not have a soul. Okay? I'm going to remind y'all of this. ChatGPT does not have a soul. It takes away your authenticity. It takes away your ability to connect with people. If there is anything that I can share with you, after just reviewing 53 proposals, people, please do not think that the proposal that ChatGPT creates for you is going to win. Simply because ChatGPT does not have a soul. Now, am I saying that you cannot use ChatGPT? That's not what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. If you rely on ChatGPT alone, you're going to go up against competitors who did not rely on ChatGPT alone. And ChatGPT is going to give you an academic response that does not create an emotional connection. It does not create an emotional connection. Even when you tell it to create an emotional connection, because ChatGPT doesn't have emotions, it can do what is said online to do to create an emotional connection. But you know how to create an emotional connection. You know how to tell a story. Think about it. If you tell ChatGPT a story right now, a real story about your life, if I go into ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT right now why I left the school system, it's going to take why I left the school system and turn it into 3 sentences. I guarantee you those 3 sentences will not move you the way that my story told out of my own mouth would move you. And so I want us to remember that, because as these proposals are coming in, people can see right through that. People can see right through it. And some people will consider it, and I'm not saying that this is you, but some people will say, oh, this is lazy. And not to mention that they're going to send, some of them are sending them through the AI checker. So I want us to really be careful with that. Leslie says, college professors see it immediately. You know what? I do too. And it's about volume. When you see it in volume, you know that there is no human characteristic, there is no emotion, there is no personality, there is no reality to it. It's just a bunch of words on paper. And so I want to caution us with that. But not to say don't use ChatGPT. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you need better prompting, and you need to add your own information in and not just rely on what ChatGPT says. So these contracts are due March 31st. You got to ask yourself, what are you waiting on? Because the schools are actively buying right now. You're seeing real RFPs. You know schools are buying. You know your program can help, but there is something in your mind or your body that is still saying, this is too big. I'm not ready. What if I mess up? They won't pick me. I don't know how to write this. I need to unpack some more. I need to research some more. I need to see 5, 6, 8 examples. I need to do this. I need to do that. Tell me right now, what are you thinking? Put it in the chat for me. Put it in the chat for me. Yes, Patrice says you can use it to generate ideas, but not your entire proposal or program. And let me tell you this, it's going to screw you over on pricing. Now, don't let it set you up now. Don't let it set you up on pricing. Hey, Camille. Hey, Camille. How you doing? So tell me in the chat. These are due March 31st. What are you waiting for? What's your obstacle? What's your obstacle? So put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Let's name it. Because what's the fear or thought that creeps in when you see yourself submitting a proposal? Let's name it. Let's normalize it so we can move past it. We got to be able to move past it, because clarity starts with calling it out. And the truth is, you're really closer than you think. Okay, she said, how do we access RFPs? They are available, they are free, they are public, they are public on every school system website. They publish them online, and you can also pay services to deliver them into your inbox. It normally costs about $1,000 a year. She said properly writing an RFP. So you can go on any school district website, put in requests for proposals, and they'll pop up. Formatting the proposal, timing, and where do I go to pitch my proposal? Okay, so we're naming the fear. we're naming, oh, Patrice says rejection. She said, let me get to it. I don't want to be rejected. She said, I need to work on my pitch and my proposal and pricing. Pricing is big. Oh my God, I do this whole thing about pricing because a lot of times your proposal will be thrown out. If you underbid, that means that you're inexperienced. You don't know the level of work that they're looking for, and there's no way you can provide that quality at the pricing that you're coming in at. And then the other thing is overpricing. It's also an indicator that you're out of your mind. So we looked at a proposal. We looked at a set of proposals just a couple of weeks ago. The work was budgeted out at $60,000. We had somebody turn in a proposal for $300,000 for $60,000 worth of work. Come on now. And then we had some people who turned in an $8,000 bid. We had somebody turn in a $4,500 bid for work that should range around $60,000. So that was an indicator to us that was an inexperienced person who doesn't understand the level of work that we're looking for. And even if we were to hire them, they would get started and be excited at first, but then once they have to do all this work, it's going to turn into resentment. So we automatically threw those out. So just know that pricing is really important. Janice said she doesn't know the format to respond, not sure how to create a proposal, trying to determine what should and should not be included in proposal. What is good enough? Yes, I love that, Sherry. Sherry said, what is good enough? That is a good one. That is a good one. Does it have to be fulfilled by June 30th? No, they don't. So these, the summer programs you will do in the month of May, June. And then the ones that are for the 2025-2026 school year, they said you set your dates up in advance. And a lot of times you're either following their PD schedule or you're suggesting dates to them. So you get to have some autonomy in the dates, depending on what the work is that they want. She says she gets overwhelmed with all of the parts. That is true. You know, I found that some of my most successful clients who do amazing work once they're in the school, once they get the contract, hands down do amazing work. I find that they get overwhelmed with the parts of putting the pieces together. And so, Tanzania, that is so true. And we do have a solution for that, because that just means that you need to pay for some done for you services so that you can get on to the good part. Rejection is a part of it. Knowing to write language and use the pricing structure. Yes. Okay. I'm trying to catch them all. Knowing how to write the proposal. It seems like the proposal is a big one. You know what? Who is this? Chelsea says, do you have a sample of one you're willing to share? You will find that most people are not willing to share their proposals, because once we submit proposals, we're using that same proposal and pulling pieces from it. And let's be honest, most people just mimic and duplicate. They don't use it to create their own proposal. They mimic what it is you've done. That is a no-no, because if we submit to two of the same places, it's going to look like we're in collusion. There is a portion on every RFP that you sign of a non-collusion act, and you will get both of us we'll get disqualified. Even though I don't know you, you don't know me, our proposals look alike, they have some similarities. It looks like we're in collusion, and you actually have to sign a non-collusion act page on proposals that you submit. Yes, proposals do show their budgets. And there are a lot of them. What we're talking about now are ones that have to be filled by this March board meetings and April board meetings and May board meetings, because most of them will need to go before the board. Proposal blueprints of the organization or a guide to what proposals should include. I will tell you that there is I wish I had time to pull up the proposals that I was just showing you. Most times they tell you what they want in it. You need a structure, but I will tell you, these people who tell you that this is what you need to do, ask them how many proposals have they won. And that's the key. people are telling people things to do, and they're writing these books, and people are teaching people how to consult, and they've never won a contract. They've never worked contracts in schools. People, don't fall for this. You need to work with people who have done the work and who know how to get you winning proposals. It's not about doing everything the same each time. It's about understanding the proposal process. These are really great questions. These are some really great points. I love this. Okay, so let me keep going. I love this. So you think the competition is crowded, but it's not. As you can see, only 14 companies bid on this contract, and half of them won't even qualify. Half of them won't even qualify. They'll be thrown out at the beginning. So now we're down to 7. And out of the 7 who will end up being in there, some of them won't have read the guidelines, and they're going to get disqualified. So you're counting yourself out, and you don't even understand that you eliminated yourself when you had a real chance. Oh, thank you, Gola. Gola said, we did a recent proposal study in February, Dr. D, and I almost cried when my proposal was finished. I realized from that proposal how awesome I am. Yes. And amazing work. I absolutely loved working with Gola and her daughter. It was amazing. She said, so you find the RFPs, visit school or state ed board websites and do a search for RFPs, or else where, how do we find them? So every school, we'll talk about that at the end, because I want to walk you through how that works. Thank you, Dr. Mel. Dr. Mel says Dr. D is a beast if you're a part of her coaching program or mastermind. So if she offers that, or you can get in, go. She's alumni. And Dr. Mel is Scholars for the Soul. Y'all follow her on Instagram. Dr. Mel, I think I just sent you an email because we got some work we can do together. So we're working on some stuff. So yes, yes, yes. So this is what I want you to realize. Here's what I want you to realize. This is what you've been telling yourself. You've probably been saying there's too many people doing this already. You maybe think that you're too small to compete, but that's actually an advantage. And you're probably thinking that the contracts only go to big companies. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. It's a lot of districts that don't want to work with the big companies because they have a lot of turnover. They don't have any consistency. And you know, the difficulty of working with big companies is that those are people that they hired and not necessarily teachers. So they just train them on what to say. And so I need you to realize that it is just not true. Like, you got to position yourself. For one of the contracts I'm reviewing right now, because that's, again, a part of services that I offer, you find that they don't align the services. There are lots of errors. There are incomplete proposals. It's not aligned. And so it's automatically thrown out. That means that, you know, there are truly only 5 to 7 in the running. And sometimes only 2 or 3 people actually submit. So don't think that there are 1,000 people submitted. Sometimes I've won several times. Guess what? I was the only one who submitted. I was the only one who submitted. I was the only one who submitted. So I won. And even though if somebody else had submitted, I probably would not have won. I was the only one, because people are busy. People are doing other things. They have other jobs. So I want you to drop a wow in the chat if any of this has shifted your mindset. If any of this has shifted your mindset, put wow in the chat. Put wow in the chat. Because what I want you to know is that while you're sitting on the sidelines worrying about whether or not you're ready, it's people who are showing up with strategy and they're securing the bag, people. Stop assuming that the door is closed. It's actually wide open. You just need the key. You need the strategy. You already have the talent. So let's talk strategy. So I know how I personally 100% know how you feel, because I was there too. I want you to know I was working as a building leader. I was making $116,000 a year. That was the most that I'd ever made in education. And y'all, I felt stuck. I told myself, this is what I told myself. This is no LOL. I thought that no other job would pay me like this. Where else in education am I going to go that's going to pay me $116,000 a year to work? I said, I should be grateful. I know as some of y'all who are thinking you should just be grateful for what you got. And that's what my family told me too. My family was like, you the building principal, you've been there for years, the people know you, you make good money, you should be grateful. They all know what you're going to say, what you're going to do. And then I had to think to myself, I was like, this is as good as it gets. Like the reality is this is as good as it gets. I got job security, I got stability, you know, I and I just kept signing the contract over and over again. But it wasn't because I loved it. It was not because I loved it. I loved the kids and I loved parts of the work, but I didn't love it all. But it was because I didn't believe I had any other options. That was the truth of the matter. I thought that I had to stay there because other than that, I can just go to another district, do the same thing, and still have the same problems, just in a different color dress. But here's what I did learn, and what I want you to know today. We always have a choice. We always have a choice. And you don't need to know every single step. You just need to know the next one. A lot of us want to know every single step, how it's going to work, what month it's going to work in, how much the first contract going to be, how long it's going to be. That's not how it works, people. You don't need to know every step. You just need to know the next step. And once you take the first step, the next one will reveal itself. Let me tell y'all, since then, in 8 years, I've closed 82. Listen to this number, 82 independent contracts. 82 in 8 years. I've partnered on a number of multiple 6- and 7-figure contract collaborations where I didn't have to go out and get the work. People came to me and said, hey, we got something brewing. Send me your resume. You want to partner with us on this? You do this portion of the work. We'll do this portion of the work. Listen here. I've partnered on multiple. I can't even count them all. And I've built a business around pitching my services and not relying on referrals, big names, or a social clout. Anybody who knows me, they know I'm an introvert. I'm not flashy. I don't do all that extra stuff. I'm at home. I like to travel. I hang out with my family. I don't know a lot of people, but I learned how to pitch. And when you learn how to confidently pitch your program, they will always find a way to bring you in and to help you to do your work. You're not stuck. You just haven't been shown what's possible. That's all it is. You're not stuck. And stop saying that you're stuck. So let's talk strategy. Because when we're talking about strategy, pitching is a process. It's not a personality. Some people think that it's about personality. Now, it's great if you have an amazing personality, but that's not all of us, right? That's not all of us. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to be popular. You don't even have to be known, because I wasn't any of those things. But what you do need is a pitch that includes a clear problem that the school or the district is facing. You need a solution that is aligned, that is fundable. Let me say that again, that is fundable. It has to be fundable, people. Now, don't get mad at me when I say this, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you the truth. Although you may love cursive writing, it's not fundable at this time. Yeah, we want kids to learn how to write in cursive, but it's not fundable at this time. So what's the other thing that we can do that is fundable? So it has to be aligned, it has to be fundable, and it has to be easy to implement. You also have to use language that connects with the decision maker. And then you got to have a strategy for submitting that proposal on time and with confidence. I love when I support the ladies with their proposals and we design these beautiful proposals, because y'all get caught up on the cute. We get caught up on the content, and then we use the other set of skills to make it beautiful. But the two things shouldn't be the same person. The person who's making the quality content shouldn't be the same person that's making it beautiful, because those two things are going to collide. And so you got to have a strategy for submitting that proposal on time and with confidence. And so, like when I worked with Gola and she got her proposal back, her confidence level went to 100, because what she had been thinking about, dreaming about, and saying, it came to life in an elevated way. There go Michelle. Michelle said, thank you for supporting me with my proposal. And Michelle is an artist herself. I was really nervous about Michelle's proposal because I was like, she's an artist. When she sees this, is this going to speak to her? Because she has an eye for art. So we had to really like take a look at that and be like, we got to give her something that she can be proud of, that will make her say, this represents me. She said yes and thank you. So pitching is about solving the right problem for the right people and showing them you have the solution. Come on, Ma'at say I helped her get her first contract. Yes, yes, yes. And we had to go over that pitch, because that pitch is what gets it. Okay. So that's what we're going to work on here now. So I need y'all to write this down. The 3 C's of a powerful pitch. First of all, you got to have clarity. You do. You can't give the other people clarity if you don't have clarity. So you got to know what is the problem you solve. And you got to be clear with it. It shouldn't take a paragraph. It shouldn't take 3 minutes to explain it. Can you explain it in 2 to 3 sentences without jargon? We don't want those acronyms. We don't need all of that other stuff. Can you explain it in 2 to 3 sentences without all of that jargon? Okay. You got to have credibility. What makes you the right person to solve this problem? This is where your experience and results shine. This is where you brag on yourself. This is where you put your results out front. I will tell you in a matter of seconds that I took my building from the bottom 5% in the state of Missouri to the 55th percentile in less than 3 years. Unheard of. Anybody who knows education and who knows school turnaround, they know that that's not typical. And I did it without spending money on a whole bunch of technology. It was through coaching and instructional practice. Guess what I do in my consulting business? Leadership coaching around how they need to use some of the same strategies that I used in my building in their building. Stop going out trying to buy all this tech stuff, workbooks, notebooks, tech books, journals, apps, programs. That's not going to save the day. We need to get some coaching of these teachers, get some support in here, and get these teachers what they need, get some conversation going, and let these teachers help to build the fence, because when they build the fence, they're less likely to tear it down. And so you got to have credibility, but you need to be able to say it, and say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. You need to be able to say, as a 3-time Apple Award winning teacher, I know that I can come in and get the results, because I did it in my own building by taking the students in my classroom who were reading at 3 grade levels below reading level to 82% of them being on grade level at the end of the year. You're going to be able to say it with your chest, okay? Leslie said, me, right. And then you got to have connection. How does your solution align with their goals, their funding priorities, or their equity initiatives? When I say, one of the things that I'm working on right now, there have been shifts. And if you don't pay attention to shifts, and especially when you haven't been somewhere in a while. So I hadn't been to Colorado since 2000, and this is 25. I hadn't been to Colorado since 2010. In 2010, I went to Colorado and I was doing some work in my then school system. That's who sent me to Colorado, and I was there for a week. And we went into several schools. We did a lot of work with Denver Public School System and with Boulder Valley School System. And then we did some work in some of their upscale private schools. We went in doing some observations and things. Well, guess what happened over that time? Now, that was in 2010, right? in 2025, did y'all know that 54% of the Denver public school system is Hispanic? I had no clue. I had no clue. No clue. You see what I'm saying? 54% are Hispanic or Latin based. You see what I'm saying? So if you're doing a proposal and you didn't do your research, you would know that. But you also have to make the connection to make sure that that is a priority in that proposal, in your solution, and that you've done work that has created results for a heavily Hispanic population. Because you got to know how to align it with their goals and then with their funding priorities and looking at their equity initiatives. So most proposals fail because they sound like bios and not solutions. So when you think about when you're pitching, you got to have clarity, you got to have credibility, and you got to make a connection. This is when you're doing a pitch. Now, one of the things that I found is that people don't always think bigger, because again, I need you all to think bigger. 5 places you can pitch your program right now. First of all, you got your public school districts. Second of all, you got your charter networks. Why are y'all sleeping on these charter schools? Charter schools will get you in much faster than a public school will, because public school has more loops and hoops that they need to jump through than charter schools. I did some work in KIPP, Oklahoma, the one in Tulsa and the one in OKC. And contacted me on one day. I was there within 2 weeks. They were not talking about in 2 months. They contacted me on one day. The PD day was coming up within 2 weeks, and they needed to know, will you be able to do it on this day? Absolutely. You say yes, and you figure the rest out later. That's right. Sarah says her first contract was with KIPP, Colorado. And Sarah says she's working on finalizing a contract with both Denver and Boulder schools. Do y'all see this in the chat? I don't know Sarah. But she's telling y'all that she's getting these contracts. Dr. Mel says, I'm going on year 3 with a charter. I'm telling y'all, the money is there. You got to dream bigger. You got to get your mind right. Leslie says she got family who attend KIPP Columbus. Here I come. And then we sleep on the colleges and universities. Guess what? Where is your ideal client? If they're in school, in college to become teachers, you looking to work with new teachers? Why not start with them when they're brand new, when they're still in college? What about those graduate programs? What about those financial services that they need in colleges and universities? All types of programs. They need leadership programs. We sleep on this. What about our community-based organizations? I try to get people to understand this all the time. When you talk about the housing authority, guess what? That's grant funded. They can't use the money. They have to spend that money with organizations who bring skills and expertise for their clients to help them to develop their skills. When you think about domestic violence shelters, guess what? Those ladies have to get soft skills training. They have to get parenting skills. They have to, all types of services. Just think about it. Community-based organizations are real. Yes, partner with HBCUs. We have a person who's in the mastermind right now. She gets contracts with HBCUs to go in and to work with first-year students to keep their retention rate low. Because we all know that a lot of students leave because they can't manage the emotional toll of being on their own for a year. So they go back home. They bring her in to work with them on navigating the first year of college as a first-generation college student. The emotional toll that it takes, helping you to regulate your nervous system. That's good money, folks. And then our government and state education agencies. These RFPs, they come out. A lot of times you see the RFPs for government and state education agencies. The other times you are just pitching your services to different community-based organizations. Community-based organizations typically do not put out RFPs. You got to pitch your services. Colleges and universities, they will put out some RFPs. That one for the Texas one, that is managed through Texas A&M. It's managed through Texas A&M. Charter schools, they typically don't put out RFPs simply because each school is its own entity. But your goal is, if I can get into one school. So when I got into KIPP OKC, I did my work there. I was like, okay, let me go over here to KIPP Tulsa and see, do they need these same services? And so I used the fact that I was in KIPP OKC to get the meeting over at KIPP Tulsa to make the pitch. And we're going to talk about that, okay? Because it's an understanding that you have to have. It's not about a right set of words. So I want us to understand, what is a pitch? Really, what is a pitch? Because a pitch isn't a presentation, and people get this confused all the time. Honey, it's a conversation that positions you as the solution. So pitching is simply communicating your value in a way that makes someone say, oh, we need you. How soon can you start? Can you send me a proposal? Can you send me some more information? You're not always standing behind a podium. You're not always submitting a proposal through a portal. It's a lot of y'all who would just love to respond to RFPs, submit through a portal, because it doesn't require you to do any additional work. It doesn't require you to come forward, to show your face, to talk to people, to pick up the phone, to show up. You're not all in. You're playing. I want serious people. I want you to run that question back through your head. What did you do to get rich? Do you believe you can get rich? I want you to run that question back through your head, because it's a lot of y'all who just want to send proposals. That's not the key. That's not the key. And a lot of us, we want to go to conferences and present at conferences and be able to say, I presented here, I presented there. This is what I want to know. How much money did you make in 2024? What did your tax statement say? Did it say 400,000? Did it say 600,000? Did it say $275,000? Or did it say 55,000? Did it say 72,000? What did you really do to get rich? Oh, y'all getting me excited, okay? Because I want you to understand that it is available, but you got to dream bigger. You got to think bigger, and you got to stop being scared to put yourself out there and worried about a no. You worried about a no? You're going to get no's. No's are okay. No's just mean not right now. No's just mean not yet. You excited that somebody tapped you to speak at a conference for free. They didn't even pay you to speak at the conference. They got paid for putting the conference on. Then they tell you you can't pitch your services. And then you don't even know how to do a backhanded pitch. Stop playing. Stop playing. If I'm coming to speak on your stage, I'm making some money. Do you hear me? Because slavery is over and we don't work for free. Do you hear me? If I'm speaking on your stage, I'm going to pitch from the background. Okay. There are strategies that you can pitch on stage. Are you going to say, buy my services? No, but you're going to pitch them services, but you need to understand strategy. So let's talk about the pitch. So I want you to understand, write this down, take a picture, do whatever you need to do. I'm trying to help y'all. I'm trying to help y'all. Tell me in the chat, is this helping? Is this helping? Let me know. Is this helping? Yes, 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 yes. Is it helping? Yes, yes. Is it helping? In the chat, let me know. She said yes. Okay, because I don't want to be just here wasting time. I'm trying to get you some things that's going to be helpful for you. Very helpful. Okay, thank you, thank you. I just need to make sure that I'm helping. 7 situations when you're pitching, because some of y'all confused about pitching. When you respond to an RFP or a grant, you're pitching. All right, Lakeisha said it's the best Zoom this year. Come on, Lakeisha, high five, girl. So when you respond to an RFP or a grant, you're pitching. Your proposal is your pitch, okay? When you send a cold email to a school leader, that's a pitch. When you're sharing your program with a conference connection, that's a pitch. When you're asking someone to refer you to their district, that's a pitch, y'all. When you post on LinkedIn about your services, if you're posting them right, that's a pitch. When you're following up after someone shows interest, that's a pitch. When you're meeting a principal at a brunch or a networking event, that is definitely a pitch. But if you're not prepared to pitch on the spot, you're missing the moment. Yes, replay will be available. Yes. If you're not prepared to pitch on the spot, you're missing the moment. I talked to somebody the other day because I talk to my clients. I'm not that person who you only see me on the screen one time a month. I come into our private Facebook group. I get them behind the scenes. They leave messages for me in the Facebook group. Sometimes we have to do a one-to-one. And I was talking to one of my clients, and she said, she's new. She said, yeah, because I talked to the principal and he was excited and he told me to send him some information, but I didn't know what to send him. So I paused because I was waiting on the rest. Y'all probably waiting on the rest. She didn't know what to send him. So I was like, well, okay, and what happened? She was like, so then I scheduled the call with you. I said, how long ago was that? She said, oh, that was last week. Oh, no, that's not how that works. When someone says send them information, you got 24 to 48 hours to send that information. 24 to 48 hours. 24 to 48 hours. Other than that, you ain't serious. Other than that, you're playing games, okay? So you got to be ready and prepared to make the pitch. You are leaving money on the table. You're already in these pitching situations, even if you don't call them that or you didn't call them that. But now you need to be strategic and prepared because the pitch moment can happen anywhere. And most importantly, you need a system so that every pitch counts. So let's break down what it looks like to win when you're doing your pitch. And I put an example up here so that you can begin to think through this. So on your paper, I want you to write your problem, the problem that you solve. I want you to write your solution. I want you to write your results, and I want you to write your call to action. So we're going to go over this real quick. So the problem is many of your students are struggling with engagement in math due to inconsistent instructional strategies and a lack of culturally responsive materials. You got to know what the problem is, people. For my math people, when you're talking to a person, a decision maker, you can't just say your math scores are low. You need to get higher scores on your STAR test or you're going to be on the failing school list. No, be specific. What exactly is creating the problem? You know, my reading teachers know, my literacy experts know. They will tell you, you likely have a foundational issue. They are missing phonemic awareness, something. You know exactly what it is. My math people will tell you, we got to make sure that they're secure in the base 10 model. And once they have base 10, it's up from there. So you see how this problem is specific, inconsistent instructional strategies and a lack of culturally responsive materials. And so then you got to know what the solution is. I offer a 6-week instructional series that supports teachers with evidence-based inclusive practices that have increased student mastery by 22% in similar districts. You see that? It gave results. It gave results. And then the results impact. Think about the impact. Districts who've implemented this model have seen improved teacher confidence, stronger test scores, and more engaged learners. And then your call to action. I'd love to explore how this could work in your district. Would you be open to reviewing a proposal? Or would you be open to setting up a meeting so that we can talk about it, whatever your call to action is. So I want you to think about this in your situation, the problem that you solve, the solution that you have, the result or impact that you've made, and the call to action that you're requesting. So I hope that you can see how clear, confident, and compelling this is. That's right. Butterfly love hugs. Hey there. She says we can't use DEI words in Arizona. Absolutely. In a lot of states anymore. I submitted a presentation for a CTE summer conference. It was rejected because I used cultural and ethnic to describe. Right. And even in some school systems, you know your area. And even like for me, I am all over the United States. Okay. So I don't discriminate because I will hop on a plane at the blink of an eye. So I'm all over. I'm in Indiana, I'm in Chicago, I just everywhere. Okay. So I had to go back and refine my stuff. I took out anything that made reference to DEI, equity, and inclusion. Let me tell y'all the buzzword. Y'all should pay me for this. Y'all should pay me for this. Let me tell y'all the word that will help y'all in a lot of your proposals and a lot of the things that you're going to pitch. Disengaged learners. I need to be dropping my cash app. Y'all don't even know what I just did for y'all. See, y'all don't even know what I did for y'all just then. The term disengaged learners will encompass all of that and allow you to say what you need to say without saying the buzzwords that are too woke. Okay. Yeah. Where is my coffee? Where is my buy me a coffee? Because we need to be buying me a coffee, okay? Because that alone is a cash cow. Disengaged learners. And see, you wouldn't know that because you're in the classroom. See, we're in this world out here doing these proposals, getting these contracts in these school systems, and we have to figure things out. We have to figure out how to pivot on the dime. I'm telling you. She say, post the buy me a coffee link. I got one, but I don't have it with me. Oh, I don't have it with me. But yes, y'all owe me a coffee. I'm telling you, change the wording to disengaged learners. Anywhere where you were talking about anything that has to do with DEI, equity, inclusion, just go with disengaged learners. It's going to go right through. Watch what I tell you. So here's the shortcut. If you're thinking, I don't know how to write that, I don't have time to do all this on my own, or you've been sitting on this idea for too long, this next step is for you because y'all have some amazing talents. Oh, Lakeisha says she just finished a TEDx talk on disengaged learners. Girl, if you don't promote that talk and get into some of these schools and do some trainings with these teachers and with these parents, oh, I see a whole program all around that TED talk. Girl, look, I get excited because y'all know that's my line of work. Okay, so let me stay focused, Lakeisha. You're trying to take me off focus. So just like with Lakeisha has this TEDx talk that she just did on disengaged learners. This is the buzzword. Lakeisha, watch see, this is what I tell y'all about abundance. Lakeisha, go check out the new book that just came out by the two women on disengaged learners, or it might be disengaged students. It's the big talk around all of the districts. That she was on the Gayle King on CBS morning show, and it's two parents who wrote this book. And as I was listening and reading through the book, I said to myself, these two parents have written a book on disengaged learners. Now, I'm not taking any credit away from those two ladies. That's not what I'm doing. But I'm saying I work with educators who deal with disengaged learners all the time, who got real strategies on how to get them engaged, who have real strategies on how to help them to move to the next level, even while you're disengaged. But here are these two people who are not even educators, who are parents, who have written this best-selling book that is all over the networks, that is everywhere, everywhere. She was even invited to South by Southwest at the last minute. Y'all stop playing with me. Anyway, for those people who are ready, you know that you are looking for the next step, like Lakeisha got what she's going on. We ain't got a lot of time, people. You don't have a lot of time. March, April, May, we need to be in schools. We need to be pitching these programs. We need to be letting people know what it is we do, how we do it, and making offers. You can check out the 14-day accelerator. I encourage everybody to get signed up, although I can't work with everybody. I got limited spots because this is really me. This is not a package program. Nobody on here needs a package program. What you need is how to get into these schools fast. You need a fully written and designed proposal that is submission ready. You need your custom email and your referral pitches. You need those things. You need a one-to-one pitch strategy session with me where we go over your program and we come up with your pitch. And you're going to work through the 5-day proposal training. But once you do the training, we're then going to refine your proposal and design it. And it's going to be beautiful. This is what Michelle Angola did. And then you're going to get a 30-day action plan and a VIP workbook, because you need to know, what are my next steps? What are the things I need to do? How do I now bring in a contract? Your goal is to get a contract. It's 3 ways to join the 14-day accelerator. A, you can pay in full. It's $1,597, $1,597. That's going to get you everything: your proposal, your pitch, your design, your review, your coaching. And as a bonus for my pay in full people, you're going to get the 100K marketing plan. That's going to show you how to generate multiple 6 figures just by following the system that I'm going to give you, because you're going to have all of the pieces. If you're saying, I don't have $1,597 right now, that's okay. Let's do the 3-pay option. Let's make it accessible. You get everything, but you're going to pay it in 3 payments of $567. You're going to make a down payment of $567 and then the 2 additional payments. Or if you know that you want to check out the finance option, you can do $250, hold your spot, where you can hold your spot for $250, fill out the finance option where they just ask that you make $40,000 a year and been on your job for at least a year. They will extend an offer to you. The goal is to get the money, do the program, get your contract, pay the money off, and rinse and repeat. Once you get one contract, you then go on to get multiple contracts. The more proposals you submit, the more contracts you're going to get, which means the more income that you're going to make. In this climate, it's not the time to tighten up. We need to get smarter, and we need to get in position so that we can bring in more income and not retract. So I need us to understand that the clock is ticking. As you can see, many of the RFPs I showed you are due March 31st. The dates matter. The next batch is going to be due April 16th, April 28th. There are common dates. You don't have time to second guess, and you don't have to DIY your way through this and you're going to burn yourself out by steady submitting proposals that are poorly done or that are weak, when you can just get the help that you need and get it done. Because the goal is to get it done within a 14-day time period. Some of my folks have this done within 7 days. We work together. It depends on you. I give you 14 to get it done. You can get it done. We can get it done in 3. We can get it done in 7. For my people who are serious, they sign up, they make their payment, they make their appointment, we get going. I've had people get their fully written proposal back within 72 hours. So it's all up to you. And I don't know if Cherie is in here. Cherie, if you can put the link in the chat so that they can access it. But I don't want you to let the headlines fool you, because there's still room at the table, even in this political climate. This is what I want to share with you about what is happening and what we've seen out in these consulting streets. In these consulting streets, people just like us are in decision-making roles. I want y'all to stop thinking that everything is falling apart. People don't want to work with us. It's too much stuff going on. You know, all of these things. I want us to stop thinking that, because people just like us are in decision-making roles. I talked to a superintendent the other day. Well, it wasn't the other day. It was about 2 weeks ago. And that was when a lot of the talk about the closing of the Department of Education was going on. And when I talked to him, we're on the phone. He can't see me. And I'm just telling you my reality. Now, I can only share with you my truth. And my truth is my truth. Your truth is your truth. I was on the phone with this superintendent. I don't know him. And we're talking, and he was actually calling me for a reference. And it was for a reference for one of my clients who, filled out an RFP. They were calling to check the reference. And so as I was talking to this superintendent, he said, "Can I say something without you being offended?" And I was like, "Sure." He said, "You sound like a sister." I said, and is. He said, "How you doing, sister?" I said, "I'm good. How are you?" He said, "I want you to know that we're in position now." He said, "And in this position, I'm looking for people who can support our students." He said, "So I am going to make the motion that this proposal be accepted because we're looking for people who can relate to our kids." And he said, "I want you to tell your other folks who are doing the work that we have people who will support the work, but we need to have people who are submitting for the work." I knew exactly what he was talking about because a lot of minorities won't submit for the work because we talk ourselves out of it. This was in a predominantly Black district. And he said he wants some people to come in who can relate to the students. That doesn't mean that only Black people can relate to Black people. What he was saying was, we can't find any people to come in. I'm just telling y'all, this is what the man said to me. There are women in leadership who are extending opportunities to other women. Stop always thinking that everything is against you. It's not. Small businesses get incentive points and are actively sought out because they get incentive points for using small businesses. Small businesses are the backbone of America. And I want you to know that school systems don't know how to fix the problems that you've already conquered. You've already got the kids reading. You already turned the school around. You already did tier 2 and tier 3 literacy supports. You know how to do small group reading instruction. You know how to do math talks. One of the things that y'all do, y'all take too much. Like, you don't know how to you think that you have to teach it all. You don't have to teach it all. If you're really good at small group instruction, that's all you do. If you're really good at differentiating instruction, that's all you do. Stop trying to teach it all. And you don't have to be a 10. If you are a 5, it's okay, sis. It's okay. Work with the 4s, the 3s, the 2s, the 1s, and those who have not gotten started. If you're a 5, you shouldn't be over in the schools that's a 9 because they already got that work done. But if you're a 5, work with the 4s, 3s, 2s, 1s, and those who haven't gotten started. If you're a 7, work with the 6s, 5, 4. You don't need to be a 10. You don't need to be a 9. Stop, get that out your head. What is it that you're good at? What is it that you get results at? I love the work that Latasha does. Latasha works with teens. She is an elementary teacher. So she works with those girls who are in 4th to 9th grade to have positive, healthy relationships online and offline. Because she found in her classroom, she had a lot of catty little girls. They were always arguing, they were always bullying, they were always being mean, and they just were not nice people. Well, guess what? They didn't have healthy relationships at home. Their parents didn't have healthy relationships. Where do you think that the healthy relationships are coming from? They have to be taught this. So she created a program to teach them how to have healthy relationships. If you don't know, you don't know. And so that's her program. She has this program now in the juvenile system. How many of y'all marked the juvenile system off the list or didn't even think about it? Guess what? It's kids in the juvenile system. It's teachers in the juvenile system. Guess what? Jess was at the hospital. My niece she graduated from a program at the hospital. The lady stood right there on the podium and said, "We are looking for people who can help our staff learn to learn how to talk to our bilingual clients or our Spanish speaking clients, because we found that there is a gap in us being able to provide high quality care because our patient care techs and our nurses don't speak Spanish." She said that right up on stage. She said, so if anybody knows of a solution, hospitals get grants, people. They get money. I'm just going to go on about my business. All I'm saying is that people are looking for help. They're looking for you, but they won't be able to find you if you keep playing small, if you keep waiting to be ready, and if you keep hiding your brilliance in Google Docs. We love to create a Google Doc. We love it. We love to create a Google Doc. That's not where the brilliance is, people. They got to get out of the Google Doc. We got to get out of the group chat. So tell me in the chat, where will you pitch first? In the chat, tell me, where are you pitching to first? Where are you pitching to first? Are you pitching to a school district, a charter network, a community college or university, a nonprofit or community-based organization? Maybe you already know. Or are you pitching to a state or a government agency? Put it in the chat. Look at there, Teach for America and Miami-Dade College. Charter and public schools near me. All of them. I love it. Miriam said all of them. Charter and community. Yes, come on. She's going to try community-based organizations. Yes. Yes, the charter network. Charter is real popular. Okay. Who are you pitching to first? All of them. Who are you pitching to? College and career readiness. All right, preparing to pitch to charter schools with low reading rates. She said the assistant superintendent, the city council, and the school board member. Absolutely. Absolutely. I need you to claim your first pitch. Claim your pitch. Sometimes your next opportunity is already in your network. You just need the proposal and the confidence to make the ask. And some of us don't even know how to start the conversation. Here's just the extra little bonus right here. The fortune is in the follow-up, people. They didn't ghost you, baby. They didn't ghost you. You just didn't follow up. They got busy. The fight broke out at the school. The parents came. They had to do 2 meetings. Their kid got sent to the hospital. A lot of stuff happened. You thought they ghosted you, but you didn't follow up. You thought that it was a them problem, and it was a you problem. You can't take this personal, Dr. Mel said. It's not about you. We got to get over ourselves. Do you have a follow-up system? Do you have a system in place to follow up when you make a pitch? If you don't, that needs to be on your list of things to do, because I guarantee you they didn't ghost you. And your goal is to make them say no. Like, stop sitting back saying, he said he was going to call me back. No, he got busy. He didn't ghost you. You didn't follow up. You're supposed to call them back. You're supposed to make the call. So the fortune is in the follow-up. Some of you have pitched before, and when you didn't hear back, you thought it was a no. But the person got busy. It may have gotten lost in their inbox. Move it back to the top, people. Send a follow-up and move it back to the top. Sometimes they need a reminder, and you need a system. Tell me in the chat, do you have a strategy? What's your current process after you send a pitch or a proposal? What's your current process? She said, I just had a conversation about a week ago. No, I just had this conversation about follow-up with my mentor this week. Absolutely. Proposal follow-ups of conversations had last Thursday. If it was had last Thursday, and today is Saturday, are you talking about Thursday that just happened, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or are you talking about 7 days before that? Because if it was 7 days before that, you are long past the follow-up stage. You are long past the follow-up stage. Kendra says, I call and email them back. Is that it, Kendra? That's all you do? Because you got to have a process. Now Kendra's doing more than most people do. Kendra will call and email them back, but you got to have a process. Pitching to schools for entrepreneurship programs, those are really big, the entrepreneurship programs, because we have now come to the realization that not everybody is going to college. How about that? How about that? We just figured that out in school systems. And she says she's researching districts looking to start remote schools for training teachers. Oh my goodness, this is a conversation. I can't even have this conversation right now because I'm running out of time. Okay, because what we need to understand that in this climate that we're in, the number of micro schools and private schools and charter schools that are about to open is absolutely crazy. I even live in St. Louis, Missouri, where we have an abundance of schools. We had 2 schools open this year, and we have 4 new schools that's slated to open in the 25-26 school year. And it's simply because vouchers are going to happen. Private schools are going to be bursting at the seams because people are going to get these $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 vouchers. And guess what? When they let the kids in, it's going to change the climate and culture of the building. The teachers are going to need training. The kids are going to need support. The teachers are going to need support, because what's going to happen when the behaviors go off the rails, because you used to have a classroom of 13 kids and now you have a classroom of 20 kids, because guess what? That administration wasn't letting that money go because private schools are privately funded, and we have an opportunity to bring an extra 100 kids in. That's going to create an extra $1 million. Yeah, we're taking them. But guess what? You also got to take the behaviors. You also got to take the parents. You also got to take the IEPs. You got to take all of the things. You don't get to separate it. So now they need training. Micro schools are happening. Homeschooling networks are busting it at the seams, especially in Florida. Those parents are pulling those kids out of their school system because you will not teach my kids religion. We will not be using the Trump Bible, and you will not whitewash the social studies that is happening in Oklahoma. Their superintendent has said some very clear priorities that he has, and there are a lot of parents who are not in agreement, and they are pulling those kids out. Are you ready for the opportunity? Are you ready for the opportunity? See, notice that Dr. Mel got a system. Come on, Dr. Mel, because Dr. Mel knows that she worked with the best. She said, I gotta create a spreadsheet of these leads, my progress and my follow-up. I need a system. That's what a system is. Come on now. Elizabeth said, I called back in 24 to 48 hours to follow up. Some of y'all need to be clicking that link. You need to be clicking that link to get signed up in that 14-day accelerator, because you need to be in these school systems. You need to get these programs set up and funded. You need to get approved. You need to hear you are approved. When can you start? Gola says she does not have a follow-up, but I'm on it. Butterfly Love Hug says, I just reconnected with the assistant superintendent after commenting on a LinkedIn post. She remembered interviewing me, and I'm going to follow up with her. Absolutely. Micro schools would love to learn more about that. Oh, there are lots of micro schools that are starting. It's absolutely amazing. Yes, she says from this past Thursday. So if that conversation was on Thursday, you need to have that email in the box. So you know, I want y'all to know that you got to have a process after you send your pitch or your proposal. If you don't have one, you are simply leaving money on the table. Follow-up is not begging. Follow-up is not begging. Okay, and Dr. Mel, I'm going to send you an email too. Follow-up is not begging. No, I'm going to text you, Dr. Mel, because you're in my phone. It's not begging. Some of us think that it's begging. Baby, it's business. It's business. We got to separate our personal from our business. Follow-up is not begging, it's business. Somebody need to write that down. Somebody need to write that down. Somebody needs to write that down, because you think that because you're following up, you're begging, and that's not true. So I need you to understand, if you are ready to go, get signed up for the 14-day accelerator. You're going to get your custom follow-up email sequence. You're going to get your referral request template. You're going to get a plan so that you can stay at the top of the mind of the people without being annoying. And this is how professionals secure the bag: with strategy, with confidence, and with consistency. The pitch just opens the door. It's the follow-up that gets you through. And so I want you to know you've seen the strategy, and now you know now it's time for you to take action. So for those who are ready, get signed up for the 14-day accelerator. If you want to book a call, feel free to book a call if you want to learn more about the mastermind. But most importantly, stay connected. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. I go live. I try to share as much as I can when I have time available. And I try to make sure that you all know some of the things that are happening in the world of consulting, because it's a lot of money out here to be made. The question is, do you plan to make the money? Do you have a plan to get rich? Are you willing to make the money? Are you willing? Because if you're not willing, then what's the point? If you're going to talk yourself out of it, doesn't make sense. So you got to figure out, and you got to ask yourself, Am I ready for this? And stop trying to do stuff alone. Stop trying to do it alone. You need to ask yourself, how much money have I made? How much money do I want to make? And once you figure that out, it's a gap in between. What do you need to do to close that gap, and do it quickly? This is not about research. Stop researching. Stop overthinking. Stop all of that. The solutions are already available. Stop trying to create a solution that's already available. All right, so I got just a few minutes to take questions. I see Sarah. Sarah, what's your question? Did Sarah have a question?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hi, I was just wondering if there are any like top five RFP sites that you use besides like directly to the school district. I use like BidNet is one of them I've used. I don't know any other ones.
So BidNet is one, and again, okay, so what I have found, and this may not be true for Sarah, okay? So just know when I'm giving these responses, I'm giving a generalized response because Sarah can attest to the fact I don't know Sarah. I don't know Sarah. I just see a name on the screen. Most educators, don't take this personal, y'all. They love free. So they'll do the free portion, but won't do the paid portion. The free portion is to show you what's available. The paid portion gets you to the next level. And so even with like BidNet, BidNet is a free portion and then a paid portion. So you got to go into the paid portion to get the best of what you're looking for. So yes, BidNet is one. I would say Instant Market Watch is another one. Again, free portion, paid portion. The government one, and of course, you can always go on sam.gov, and of course, RFP School Watch. Part of the problem is these things require funding. You have to pay. Like in reality, you got to pay. And I'm willing to pay to play because convenience is more important to me. But for most people, they're not going to pay $12.95, as in $1,295, to have RFPs sent to their email box that they're not going to respond to anyway. Like it sounds good, but at the end of the day, they're going to be coming into your email box and then you respond to one a month. One a month will never get you to where you're trying to go. One a month, it's a numbers game. RFPs are a numbers game. And so there is strategy to this. And if I can't even express, if there is nothing else that you can take from this, know that a lot of us got the talent. We don't have the strategy. We don't understand the game that we're playing. And you got to know the game that you're playing. It's like getting out on the baseball field and not understanding that you can steal bases. You just want to hit the ball and make it to the base. You didn't know you could steal bases and that you can win games by stealing bases because you had no strategy. You didn't have a coach who told you this is how you steal a base. This is the optimal time to steal a base. It's the same thing in proposal writing. So in proposal writing, you're going to win 1 out of every 10. Listen to those numbers. You're going to win 1 out of every 10. And that's only if you got a good proposal, okay? That's only if you have an effective proposal. So what does it take to complete 10 proposals? That's the big question. And how long is it taking you to do it? How long is it taking you to do it? So you need to complete 10 in a month to win 1. So you got 10 in a month. And then the next month you need to do 10 more. But then you got to ask yourself, what's the payout? So this is the piece I need y'all to zoom in on. So you're typically going to spend, the typical person spends about 40 hours doing a proposal. 40. 40. I know I'm from St. Louis, so I got a little St. Louis slang going on here. So 40 hours for the possibility of making thousands upon thousands of dollars. If your program is $40,000 and you have to do 10 sessions to get 40,000, how much would you have to work in the school system to make $40,000? How many paychecks would you have to get in the school system to make $40,000? For most of us, that's half a year of work. That's 6 months worth of work that you have to do to make the $40,000. But instead, with this way, you're making 40,000. You're going to do 10 sessions, 12 sessions, 8 sessions, however many sessions, plus the hours that you use to create the proposals. The payoff is a lot better because a lot of times we have equated money with time, and we got to eliminate that. We've equated, you make $100,000 in a year. That's not the way this works. You got to let that go. You can make $100,000 in a day. You can make $100,000 in an hour. You can make $100,000 in a month. You can make $100,000 in 3 months. It does not have to be a year. You can make $50,000 in 40 days. So we have to shift that idea. So that's why I say when you're doing your proposals, it takes a lot of time in order to get it done. That's why we offer a 14-day service, because this is what I do. Like, this is not my team offering this. This is me. That's why I can't work with 60 people. I can only work with about 5 people because I'm going to actually meet with you. I'm going to actually, my hands is writing that proposal. My brain is writing that proposal. And just like in baseball, you can steal a base. I'm going to show you some things you can do in a proposal that you didn't know you can do to move you up higher on the list. I'm sure Gola and Michelle can attest to that. Because you don't know the tricks that you can do. You don't know the things that you need to put in place and what you need to say and how you need to say it, because you're not competing against these people on the screen. These are not your competition. I showed you the 14 companies that are submitting to that Baltimore RFP. Those are education companies. So I got to present you as a company and not as a person. You see what I'm saying? So you can't just be a person. I got to present you as a company. I got to present your results. I got to present your performance. And even if you've never worked outside of one school system, honey, I know how to take that information that you've got, and I know how to make you glow and look like you've been working with agencies for the past 10, 15 years. So you got to understand the game that you're in. And some people want to play the game just to play. Don't come over here and play with me. I only like winning. I play to win. That's a different mindset. Some people are playing not to lose. And so that's why I asked you the question, did you even try to get rich? Because if all you did was went to work, tried a few side hustles, you ain't tried to get rich. You were just doing stuff. Did you even try to get rich? Did you have a plan, a strategy, a way that you could really get rich? All of y'all, every last one of you all have a way to get rich right now. You have an expertise. You've been solving problems. You in these school systems, and the school systems and these community-based organizations, they got the money to make you rich. But you keep settling for the single check that you get from the school system because you believe you can only get paid 24 times in a year. And it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. Any other questions? What question? I'm trying to take a couple of questions. Teresa, there's a link in the chat. Pull up the link in the chat. Sarah, go ahead. You got another question? Sarah, go ahead.
Got the question. I'll ask the question. No one ain't got the question.
Come on.
Me. I was wondering, you mentioned like the key spring dates. Are there key fall dates where schools are looking for new proposals and things like that?
You're in it right now. You know what? This was not a session that I had planned. I did a free masterclass last month, and I was showing people how to get their summer programs into schools. So this was not on my calendar. So I showed the people how to get their programs into schools. And like a week later, because I had some actionable people, they were sending me emails into the email, and my team was telling me that the folks are getting these meetings and they messing up in the pitch. And I was like, what? And I saw the trend. And so I said, oh, I need to offer a masterclass on how to pitch the services. So March, April, May, this is summer program months. This is clean up that June 30th, 2025 fiscal year money. So this is a key time right now. When I say you can go in and sweep up some of that leftover money, 2,000 here, 1,800 here. When I say they will pay you for a parent program, they'll pay you. Somebody just got approved for their coding program for Black boys, and theirs was very specific because they based it off of the low math scores in this district, and they pitched this program, summer program, 9 weeks, has a technical component to it where they go onto an app that she created, and the system, they approved her right away. They approved her right away, but they approved her out of the leftover, I think it was Title II money. It wasn't Title I. I think it was Title II money. And so that was left over. So March, April, May, prime time for summer funding and for closing out the fiscal year. Now, they will also accept you right now, pay you out of this budget, but they don't need you to come until August or September, and sometimes in July. Anybody who's doing leadership coaching, leadership programs happen in July for administrators and for department chairs and all of those people. So they have to get those things approved and set up March, April, May, even though it's going to happen in July. And they will also pay you from the 2025-2026 budget. So they'll let you know, we can't send you a payment, your first payment, until after July 1st, 2025. So we're in key time right now. Like, people wait, there are key times. Right now is a key time. Your next key opportunity is going to be September, October, November. Those are times when they will be getting the PDN training for January, February of 2026. You will find that in December, a bunch of RFPs are going to be dropped. They're going to be released to the public, because now we started the school year. We had all of these big plans, and guess what? Something happened. We didn't get it done. People failed, whatever. So when January comes, we come back. We got to fix what we missed, what we didn't do, the support. You hire new teachers. You don't know how the new teacher is going to work out until September, October. So now we got to get that new teacher some support in. So yes, there are definitely key moments that you have to take advantage of. And sometimes we get contracts just because we was in the right place at the right time. Just truth be told. Goler, what's your question?
So Lisa is the secretary for Charter Network. She will not budge on giving me the telephone number to directly speak with the decision makers. She will only give me emails. So yeah. I email, however, none of the decision makers, Jessica and a couple other folks, they will not get back to me. I don't know if, and I was feeling a little jilted, but I'm understanding now I need to do a follow-up. But I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, tell me what's my next step. How should I follow up? Or what's my next step with that? Because I'm a little stuck right there.
And that's a huge issue that a lot of people have, because now keep in mind, again, I don't know the full story, but I'm going to tell you what is likely has happened. So she's correct. She's not going to give you the phone number. She is the conduit. These are the gatekeepers. You got to have a strategy for the gatekeepers. You have the email. You have sent the email. Follow up is key. First of all, one email is not enough. You need to send 7 to 10 emails. And in those emails, the question is, how are you serving them? How are you supporting them? How are you educating them? And so if we're just trying to do it one by one, it can be very exhausting, but you definitely want to continue to follow up. And then the next thing, because you're looking at the charter school, are there other people who you can email that, like when you email the superintendent or the director, there are people, there may be an assistant director, there may be a PD and curriculum coordinator. You want to email more than one person to try to get the message across.
Okay, I got it.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you.
Okay, so Elizabeth says, what about cold calls to decision leaders? What's the best intro to get the pitch in and to get them to the proposal? Elizabeth, it really depends on your content area, what it is that you're offering. And the truth of the matter is you got to have a customized pitch. You got to know exactly what it is that you need to say. And you need to, it's almost like you're not memorizing it, but you're saying the same thing every time. A lot of us, the problem is the content isn't converting. So your message is not converting because you're talking like a teacher. I'm going to give you this really quick example, and I know y'all got to go, but I'm going to give you this example. There are people on here who have been amazing teachers in the classroom. You did an amazing job in the classroom. And then when it came time for the instructional coach position or the assistant principal position, you applied for it. You had the certification, you done the training, and you've been working in the school for 5, 10, 15 years. In your mind, you would think that that is a no-brainer. They need to put you in this position. The thing that you didn't realize is that they are looking for someone to be an assistant principal who is a leader. And you are in the position of a teacher who does what people tell you to do. That's the same thing that's happening when people are making these pitches. They are coming at it from the perspective of a teacher. And we can sense that. Like, I've been a leader before. I can always tell when I'm talking to a teacher. It's just like when you go to a restaurant and you order your food and your food comes out and it's wrong. You speak to the waiter or waitress and you tell them what the problem is. If they can't get it fixed, you're going to talk to the manager, right? Because at this point, the waiter cannot help you. A lot of you all are acting like the waiter or waitress when you need to step into the persona of an education company owner. You're a teacher. There's a certain mindset that goes with a teacher. You're waiting for permission. You're asking for permission. You're looking for approval. You're waiting for somebody to tell you you did a good job. That's not what leaders do. Leaders take risk. Leaders move forward even though there is a bit of danger. You're scared of the risk. You're never going to win being afraid of the risk. Just true T. Like, if you are afraid, you're not going to get rich. You're not. And rich can mean whatever it means to you. Rich to me don't mean that I got to make millions of dollars, but there is no reason that any of you all on here cannot make $1 million. There's no reason. But because we're so interested in pleasing people, we don't want to say no. We're putting ourselves on the back burner. We're taking care of everybody else instead of ourselves. We're serving everybody, everything, doing all the things. Of course, you don't have any time. You're trying to make sure your kid is in every program, and knowing your kid ain't skilled and talented in that thing, you're just trying to live through them. And so you are busy running the practice. And when your kid asks you later on, did you ever try to get rich? You're going to say, I was busy taking you to soccer practice and the dance. And the dance and the dad, and they're gonna look at you and say, now, I got 2 left feet and I ain't have no business in that dance class. Now, I can't even do math. I wasn't gonna be no astronaut, but you had me in that NASA program because we're too busy doing the things that don't matter. We're trying to live through our children. We're trying to do all of these things. And I'm not saying it's not important. I'm saying you need to make a decision. If your goal is to get rich, you got to do what rich people do. And you got to be willing to sacrifice. We can spend time on social media. We can spend time TikTok. And we know every trend that doesn't happen. It's people who watch every episode of Risa Tisa. That was 50 hours. In that 50 hours, you could have got a contract. I'm just saying, don't get mad at me. I'm just saying, you got to be willing to take a risk. And for all those people who don't want to spend any money, how you gonna make money? How do you expect people to pay you if you're not willing to pay and understand that there is an exchange of service? I need us to understand this. You got to be willing to take risk. But if it came to you booking a trip, you be on that trip. You don't have a problem putting that trip on a credit card. You don't have a problem buying those shoes on that credit card. We got to change our mindset, folks. We got people who are looking for your services. You got to package that service up right. Don't overwork yourself. We think that the more stuff we put into the package, the more valuable it's going to be. That's not true. We think that if our price is low, that's going to make us attractive. Are you attracted to Walmart? Walmart got low prices, but you don't equate quality with Walmart. You go there because they got everything, but you don't ever say, oh, I need me a good quality outfit to wear to this dance tonight. Let me go over to Walmart. That is not what you said. So we got to get our pricing right. We got to package our program, and we got to be confident in our pitch. And it's just like when I'm going to do my PDs, baby, when I'm going to do my PDs, when I'm showing up, my hair is on 10. My makeup is on point. My outfit, baby, I done obsessed over it because it's going to look good. My shoes going to be matching. My accessories going to be on point, because when you look good, you feel good. And I get up on stage, one thing you ain't going to talk about is what I'm looking like. You can find some stuff to talk about, but I feel good within myself. I'm standing in front of you. I'm presenting. I'm here to help you, to show you what I've done and to see how I can support you. I feel good. You can talk about me, but it ain't gonna impact me because I know I look good. It's the same thing with your proposal. Your proposal has to look good. It has to have good content. It has to be presenting you and representing you. And that way you can pitch because you know you got a good thing. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I want us to understand. The reason why we're not pitching and getting the yeses is because you're coming weak. You're coming unprepared. You're coming unsure. Your stuff is not packaged right. All it takes is one yes. You keep talking yourself out of the one yes because you're scared. But scared people don't get rich. Nobody talks about the person who did everything they were supposed to do. I followed the rules. I did what they said. And you got exactly what they said you was going to have. They told you to go to school, get a good job, stay there for 30 years, and then you'll be able to retire. And that's exactly what you did. And that's exactly what you're going to get. You don't get the stuff in between. You don't get to take trips during the year. You don't get to pay for your son's wedding. You don't get to pay for your niece's baby shower. You don't get to do all of the things because you picked the path that was safe and easy. You got to be willing to take a risk. I'm telling you, all it takes is one. But if all you got is a $2,000 program and you only sell it once, you only made $2,000. But what if we show you how to turn that $2,000 program into a $50,000 program? Now, will that pay off a little debt for you? Some of y'all scared to pay your house off early. You believe that you have to pay your house off in 30 years. I believe you can pay it off in 7. See, we on a different set of mindsets because you believe that you only pay your house note once a month. What if you could afford to pay your house notes twice a month? How would that change the payoff date of your house note if you're paying one to the principal and one to the house note? That's going to pull that down real quick. Some of us believe that you got to pay your car note for 5-6 years. I haven't paid a car note over 2 years. Because when you close a contract that's $43,000, I can put $20,000 of it on the principal of my car. But you can't do that because you won't bet on yourself. You won't take a chance to make the money because you don't want to get rich. You don't want to have money. You want to be comfortable. And the last thing I'm going to say, oh yeah, absolutely, Sarah. Sarah, I'll walk you through all of that. Sarah, yes. Let me tell you something. The reason why I'm doing this is because y'all letting money just go out the window. I'm working on my money. I got contracts out. I got proposals out. I'm doing my thing. And I'm good at it. I'm good at it. When I talk to the people, even when I don't get selected, in my debrief, they always say, your proposal was absolutely amazing, and we're going to keep you in mind for the next opportunity. Now I'm building relationships. Now I'm letting them know I would still love to work with you. I understand that I wasn't selected, and they're telling me that program, we could use that over at this elementary school. We don't need it for the whole district, but you got to present yourself in the right way. I can't express this enough. You cannot present yourself as a teacher. Honey, you are a CEO. You are an education company owner. You are skilled. You are talented. Some of y'all got books that you've written. You've got conferences that you've presented at. That's not a conference. That was a training. What are you talking about? Stop talking about I presented at this conference. You know what that translates to? Free. Free. And we love to say, oh, I presented at this conference last week. Stop saying that crazy mess. I did a training last week. Didn't you train those people who were in that session? You trained them. Training calculates to paid. You didn't say you got paid. See, I got to show you how to work these words. I got to show you how to make this thing work for you. But see, these other folks, they're not going to tell you this. They're going to tell you, do the proposal, turn it in. They know you're going to get tired of steady turning in proposals and not getting selected. And then you're going to eventually quit. You're going to quit. You're not going to fail. You're going to quit. There's a difference between quitting and failing. And so I need y'all to understand that when we come, yes, we do a tiered offering structure. Absolutely. Girl, I got this. Sarah, girl, I got this. Girl, I got this. Absolutely. So I help you to put your program together. My name not going on nothing crazy, okay? So why would I have you sign up for my program and then you go out here offering some crazy stuff and then you say, Dr. D trained me on how to do. You see them ladies in that chat said, Dr. D is the GOAT. Dr. D, y'all need to work with her. Because they stuff is top tier. Because I'm not going to put my name on no foolishness. You're not going to put no $1,800 program out here that got 26 components to it. No, we're not doing that. We're going to get you a program pricing. We're going to get you, we even work on titles. Some of y'all be doing too much. You trying to be cute instead of clear. You working trying to be cute. Oh, that's cute. No, we're not doing cute. We're doing clear. We're not trying to impress people. We're being impactful. You think that all them colors and designs and stuff, girl, take that stuff off there. This is not school. We are not in school. And that's the problem. We think that we're in school and we are not. I need us to not think that we're in school. We're in business. And so you shouldn't be researching like you're in school. You shouldn't be going to conferences to learn. We don't go to conferences to learn. We're not in school. We go to conferences to make connections and to pitch our services. So in the program, we're going to walk through your program. We're going to look at your titling of your programs, the components, your objectives. We're going to look at who your ideal clients are, where you can find them at. We're going to put the program together. We're going to go through the proposal, complete the proposal, design the proposal. So you're going to do a draft of the proposal, then you're going to turn it in to me. And because I can't make your program for you, but I can give you really good guidance. Once we get that proposal draft, it doesn't need to be perfect, just a draft. And then I'm going to take that proposal to the next level. And then I'm going to have it professionally designed. You'll get an editable Canva template so that when it's time to submit, all you need to do is go in, change the name of the business, organization, company, whoever you're sending it to, and change some of that pertinent information that's right there at the beginning. But the program, the pricing, and all of those things will stay consistent. That's how you get proposals out quickly. So now you can do 10 in a month, but trying to write 10 different proposals that they low quality anyway, that's not going to help. So that's what, and then your pitch, we got to make sure you understand your pitch. And so, yeah, Sherry, you're in the mastermind. You see how, I'm sorry, Sherry, I think Sherry, that was a direct message. And I normally don't even see them, but yours came up. That's why I came in and I was answering questions in the mastermind because they had sent something. And Sherry, you just sent me your thing and I sent you a loom back. So yeah. But go ahead and finish it, Sherry, and then we'll reconvene again. So go ahead and finish it, and I'll send you another loom back. So this is really, you got to make it happen, folks. You got to stop being scared. You got to move forward, and you got to know that it's available to you. Like, if there's nothing else I can say, I've shown you proposals. I've shown you the real life. You see, those are due now. That's a small percentage. When I say my email box probably has 150 RFPs right now, and RFPs are not the only way. That's the long process, people. I need you to get in on the quick process. The quick process is pitching to schools, community-based organizations, and to colleges and universities right now. The RFP, that's when we're pitching our big programs. That program in Baltimore, anybody who's doing that, if you're multilingual, that program, if you're thinking about the whole Baltimore school district, and some people say, I don't have enough people to do that. You're thinking small. You thinking small. That is something that's going to change your life. That's one of those programs where you can literally quit your job because this is going to be your new job, and you don't have to work every day, all day. Right now, we have going out a 90-day coaching contract, and it's $254,000 for 90 days of job embedded coaching on site. It's $254,000. So you got to know how to price. You got to know how to price. It's so important, but not just making up prices. You need to understand the market standard. You need to understand what you can, how high you can go, and when you're too low. And a lot of that goes with, because we have over 80 people in our network. So we have 80 people working in school systems, plus the contacts that I have. I simply call and ask questions. Hey, what did you charge per day on this? How did you push this up? And then some places only allow you to charge per hour. Some of our schools in Texas, we understand that if we can see what 5 other consultants charge, what we can likely be able to charge. And you got to be in community. You got to be in connection to be able to do those types of things. So that's all I got. I ain't got no more. Let me see. I guess I can take one more question. One more question. Anybody got a question? Anybody got a question before we go? Anybody scared to get signed up? Who is fearful about getting signed up? Because that means you're fearful about making money. You got to think about the most productive outcome. Don't think about what could go wrong. Think about what can go right. You can do this proposal, you can get these opportunities, and you can bring a lot of money into your household. If you're going to work summer school, you're going to get paid, what, $3,000 to work summer school. Honey, I can show you how to make $30,000 in half the time. It's all about perspective. It's all about perspective. You will spend 30 days in summer school working 4 hours a day when I can show you how to make $30,000 working 10 hours during the summer. So it's all about perspective. I need us to really change our perspective and to see things a little bit differently. See, I like people like Sarah. Sarah said, if y'all ain't got a question, she got a question. Come on, Sarah.
I was just going to say, so the programs that you're offering, is it just the 14-day accelerator? Is there a longer program, or what are the different ones that you offer?
Now, this one is the 14-day accelerator, which is, I created this program to get some of this summer money. So this is just a program that we do just to get a quick, get people in, get the summer money, use up this money. Now, our regular program is the Mastermind. The Mastermind is a 9-month program. You can book a call to learn more about the Mastermind, because we do interview each person to make sure that you're a good fit, and to make sure that we can help you to start your business. We don't just help you to start a business. Starting a business is just going out, getting an EIN, getting an LLC, starting your business checking account, that articles of organization, operating agreement, that's starting a business. We show you how to create a sustainable and scalable business so that you have skills to be able to pivot as needed. So we're not just going to show you how to do regular consulting, educational consulting. We're going to show you how to respond to state agencies and local agencies. We're going to help you to get the certifications that you need so that you can do all the things that you need to do. and you're going to have community where you can then partner with people. There is a lot of danger in partnering. We just had this situation that happened. I say this every call, and this is a little bit off track, Sarah, but yeah, you can book to learn about the mastermind, and we have the 14-day, and then I do some little smaller events. I also do a live event each year in July here in St. Louis, and it's always amazing. But we just had a situation. I tell people all the time, stop partnering with people who you don't know. Stop partnering with people who you don't know. When money is involved, people turn into different people. And I need you to understand this. And this is no shade to anybody. But if you don't know this person and they said, we're going to partner on this contract, and they put you on this contract and they win $80,000 contract, you don't know, because how would you know? How would you know? So they put it in their name. The check came into their account, and they just never contacted you again. Or they tried to lowball you. Stop partnering with people you don't know. You got to have agreements in place, and you need to work with people of integrity. So stop partnering with people that you do not know just because y'all have a background in common. No, get to know the person. Understand, is this a person of integrity? And it's not about likability. Let me also say that it's not about whether or not you like the person. Are they effective at doing their job? Are they a high-level person? Do they know how to facilitate instruction? Do they follow through with what it is they said? This is not about being friends. This is not a friendship. This is about making it happen. And so when we partner with people we don't know, you always end up getting burned. From last month when I did the free masterclass, we had a lady in there who partnered with somebody. It was one of my people from my previous cohort. She partnered with her, went on site with her because they were in the same state, went on site to the private school. My client was the one who did the majority of the talking, was the one who was able to close the contract because, again, she's been coached. She's been trained. She understands what needs to happen. The other person had just been trying to work and do it alone. She left the meeting. The other lady followed up with the school, the private school, followed up. And then I guess it was maybe a week or so later, they said, let's move forward with the contract. That lady right now is working that contract without the other person. She's working the contract without the other person. She saw the dollar signs and she said, oh, I can do this myself. I don't need her. I can do this myself. That's a person of low integrity. You know what I said to her when she called me, when she sent me that message? My response back was, I have stated over and over again, stop partnering with people you do not know. You do not know their character, and now she's shown you her character. Well, guess what? Now she has all of her information. She can apply to as many things as she wants to using her information. Stop partnering with people you don't know. I'm just going to keep saying that. Okay. And it is foul. It is. But guess what? Every teacher ain't good. And everybody who say they want to be a consultant don't do good work. So that's why I say stop partnering with people that you do not know, okay? Get into a community, get to meet some people. You'll see through their character. There are people who in my community, they show up to everything. They show up to every session. I have no problem extending to them, hey, my organization is going after a contract. Is it okay if we include you in on it? When we win, we'll reconvene and we'll figure out who's doing what work where. They already know I'm not going to do a contract that I told them they was going to be on, and they're not on it. I also refer people out. I referred about 8 of my clients out to people who were looking. I was on a call with the University of Denver. The people at the University of Denver, they have a $350,000 grant. They got the grant, got awarded the grant, got to going in the grant. They got awarded the grant in June of last year. They got to going in the grant. The election came, threw everything into a tizzy. Election happened in November. December came, the holiday came, January came, they got back to school, February came, and guess what? They realized they had not fulfilled the things that needed to be fulfilled on that grant. They have until June 30th, 2025 to complete all of those things, or they have to give that money back. So they called an emergency call to their vendors to see who might be able to start some immediate work to fulfill some of these things on the contract. Well, I'm not available because I already have some other priorities. So I told them, I said, hey, I'm in communion with this group of consultants. They're amazing. I know that they're well trained. And I was able to send them some resumes for some of these ladies. And I said, and I told the ladies, I can't guarantee you anything, but I definitely shared your contact information. You got to be in community with people to be able to know if they are good people, if they are people of integrity, because people will get that money and go on about their business and will leave you high and dry. I just need us to know that. All right, so if there are no other questions, we will go ahead and end this session. Y'all know I love doing these sessions. I love helping y'all to get these contracts. I hope and pray that each and every one of you closes a contract, makes some money, and sees what is possible. And you know, if there is anything I can do to help you, I 100% will. I know that abundance is your birthright, and we do not have to continue to struggle. We do not have to limit ourselves, and we don't have to beg people to work with us. There are people who are looking for you. They do not know where you are at. So if there's anything I can do, you know, reach out and then sign up for the program. Bet on yourself. Do what you need to do and stop being scared. And other than that, I will catch y'all in these social media streets as I come live and try to share more information. The recording will be sent out either this evening or tomorrow. See y'all later.